Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to PLC Nuts and Bolts for 6-8 Social Studies. Your agenda today will go a little something like this. We're going to spend some time exploring updates to the curriculum documents that were made during Curriculum Review Week. We'll review the PLC process, and then you will have the rest of the afternoon to work within your PLC to plan Unit 1 so that you're ready for the upcoming school year. During Curriculum Review Week, there were a few changes that were made to your documents. In 6th grade, Unit 3 and Unit 4, your essential questions were updated. In Unit 4, the enduring understandings were also changed. Unit 7, the will be able to, or what we refer to as the do's, have been updated. In Unit 1, in the 8th grade, the enduring understanding and the knows were updated, and Unit 6 was renamed. You'll notice that in all curriculum documents for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I, Curio, and Define STEM have been removed as links from Stage 3. Cabarrus County, we no longer use these as resources. These are links here to the specific year-long maps on the Curriculum and Instruction webpage. Make sure that you are logged in to the Cabarrus County Schools webpage, or you will not be able to access Stage 2 and Stage 3. Quick review of the PLC process for Cabarrus County Schools. We align our PLC process to our curriculum documents, which we're going to talk about here very shortly. But first, this is a link to the PLC toolbox for Cabarrus County Schools. In the toolbox, you will find plenty of resources that we provide to help you facilitate conversations as a PLC facilitator or participate in conversations as a member of the PLCs. The top portion of this is your Facilitator's Corner. Here you will find PLC conversation checklist, agenda templates. You'll also find unit feedback links. So when you think about the curriculum and the changes that were made to it, if you have feedback that you would like to provide about that, this is where you will leave that for us. And we'll review that, and then it will be taken into consideration next year during Curriculum Review Week. Below that are several documents, some of which we'll discuss a little bit later on, that are aligned to the different stages of our PLC conversation. So Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, and then Stage 4, which is our data analysis portion. Below that, you'll find all the professional development that has ever been provided for Cabarrus County Schools since we began this process. In a Stage 1 PLC conversation, you should be focused on Stage 1 of the UBD documents. This is where you'll discuss what it is students will know and be able to do by the end of the unit. The Know and Do Organizer is not a requirement, but it is one resource that we provide to help you have this conversation. Many people will look at the standards for this particular unit. They'll determine from the standards what they think students should know, what they think students should be able to do. Then they'll compare this Know and Do chart to the Knows and Do's that are listed on the curriculum documents. This is a good way to check to make sure that what's on the curriculum documents aligns with what's in the standards. And if you find a discrepancy or you think that you have a question about it, then you could add that to the PLC feedback form. Once the Know and Do chart is completed, you can go back and begin having a Stage 2 conversation. The Stage 2 conversation aligns with Stage 2 of the UBD documents. This is your assessment conversation. This is the assessment brace map. Again, it's not required, but it is a suggested resource that we provide to make these conversations run a bit more smoothly. Like all things UBD, we begin with the end in mind. So you would put your final product here. This could be a unit project. It could be a PBL. It could be a unit test. Then you build out from there what content, standards, skills, 21st century skills, or concepts you'd want to put on this map, followed by what small formative assessments can you do to check for understanding of these particular concepts or skills. So for example, if one of your concepts that you wanted to test on was conflict, over here you might have a DBQ on conflict in the Middle Ages, you might have a vocabulary quiz, and you might have a ticket out the door. So these are small formative assessments. They really can be anything as long as they're used to check student understanding. The nice thing about this assessment brace map is it creates some continuity between the PLCs and allows you to have those Stage 4 data discussions more often rather than waiting until we get to here at the end of the unit to discuss how kids did on a giant unit test. And the final stage of your PLC process that we will discuss today is stage 3. Stage 3 on UBD is referred to as a learning plan. In Cabarrus County Schools, we don't teach you or tell you how to teach. What we do ask is that you follow Unit 1. That's the what you're teaching. But by the time we get to Unit 3, we recognize that that's your craft and that's your skill. And we want you to be free to use that. So in Stage 3 on our UBD documents, instead of providing lesson plans, we provide specific resources to you. This is the PLC checklist. This should be done at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year. It's not turned into us, but it's a nice thing that you can do to sort of assess where you are in the process, maybe identify some opportunities for improvement if you have those. And it can also help guide your conversations. That's divided into stages like we just talked through. Our focus right now is Stage 3, which is the learning plan. So what you can use this for is, as you're pulling those resources from Stage 3 on our documents, you can ask yourself, are we attending to student engagement? Are we attending to rigor? In other words, revise Bloom's taxonomy or Webb's depth of knowledge. Are we aligning the questions that we're asking in class to the verbs that are being used in the standards? You'd want to do this with your assessments as well. If we're asking kids to analyze on a test, are we teaching them to analyze in a classroom? And if we are teaching them to analyze in a classroom, what are the resources that we're using to build those skills in our students? If you have any questions about the PLC process or the curriculum changes, please feel free to email me at leanne.havely@cabarrus.k12.nc.us. In the meantime, what the next steps would be for you would be to begin having your first PLC conversation. We suggest that before you begin planning Unit 1, you revisit or revise your norms, and then you keep these norms posted in your classroom or meeting space for the remainder of the year. Once that's done, begin planning Unit 1. Start with Stage 1 by identifying the no's and do's for Unit 1. You could do a no-do chart or an unpacking document, which is also in the PLC toolbox. In Stage 2, you'd want to create your Unit 1 assessment plan. You could use the Brace Map or a similar tool. And then for Stage 3, identify resources from Stage 3 that align to the instructional plan, and think about how you're going to provide information for your students throughout the course of this unit. I hope you have a wonderful first day of school and a good school year. Again, let me know if you need anything. Thank you.